G1000 started out as a small charter operation back in the early 70s, and we've grown into an air ambulance provider for the territory of Nunavut. G1000 operates 13 aircraft and currently have 7 bases of operation in the northern part of Canada. We typically get called late in the evenings and fly through the night. Pilots do typically 7 to 10 hours of flight time on a regular mission. G1000 has always been looking for a solution to the aging avionics systems that were currently in the King Air 200, and Garmin certainly produced an excellent product. Without the G1000 NXi, some of the approaches may not happen, which could ultimately affect the outcome of the patients.
It's very, very clear, it's very sharp, it's speedy. It actually gives what you want. It's like I'm a 71-year-old kid in a candy store and that airplane being my candy. It's cool.
The G1000 NXi upgrade allowed our maintenance departments to more efficiently complete maintenance tasks on the aircraft, reducing downtimes with the older generation equipment. Some of the cost savings that G1000 has experienced with adding the G1000 NXi system is a standardized platform, reducing the amount of maintenance spare parts that are required to be on hand. We had an overtorque situation that allowed us to pull the data from the aircraft immediately and identify that the overtorque was not an issue, ran that through Pratt & Whitney, and saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings.
Biggest thing was I got 276 pounds more useful load out of the airplane, getting rid of all that old heavy stuff. And that right there was a selling part to me. With the 510 capability right now with FlightStream, we have the capability of loading a flight plan at home. I use flightplan.com, of which now is part of Garmin. I can load it into Garmin Pilot, come out to the airplane, punch a button, and the flight plan is in the system. With the weather system on there, we can start planning right after takeoff, or even sitting here on the ground, where we may or may not have to deviate. And quite frankly, the radar on this thing is better than any radar I've ever flown, even in the military versions. And the HSI map upgrade to this allows us to see a moving map, radar, traffic, TCAS. You can put pretty much anything you want superimposed over the HSI.
The visual approaches are such a wonderful safety feature. To be able to couple up to a 3-degree glide slope with the GFC 700 and have it bring you safely to the end of the runway on the right airport, big deal. And Surface Watch gives you so much comfort to know that you're lining up to take off on the right runway and not a taxiway, to know that that runway that you've selected has enough length for your particular operation. Again, a tremendous asset. When I think about the legacy of the G1000, to me, this is where Garmin stopped being a company associated with small airplanes to putting their foot in with the big boys.
Would highly recommend the G1000 NXi upgrade to any King Air platform. It's the right decision. It gives a much safer work environment for the pilots, reduces the workload. The cost savings on the maintenance side is very large. It increases the load capabilities of the aircraft.
It's reasonably priced. You can very simply get replacement parts. Service is good.
The only bad thing about the NXi is it takes a lot of my time with my buddies. And they sit down in my front office, and when I get done, they just shake their head and say, wow, if only I had half of what you have. So I'm proud to be flying the NXi.